name is Austin Harris. I'm a senior here at the University of Iowa, and I want to start this presentation off with a question. And that question is, why are you here? No, really, why are you here? For the next 4 minutes and 45 seconds, I really want you to keep that question in the back of your mind. I actually graduated high school in 2008. I guess you could say I'm on a 6-year college plan. I was not a stellar student whatsoever. I was physically there, but not mentally. I just did not care about gaining knowledge. I knew from my sophomore year of high school that I was going to start my college career at Black Hawk Community College in Moline, Illinois. My mother and father thought this was the best idea for me because my grades were not necessarily the best and a high cost of college tuition. After about a year of community college, I just wasn't excelling. I was passing classes, but I had no idea of the career path that I wanted to take. My father had just started a telecommunications business in Atlanta, Georgia. My mother thought it would be best for me to move away from the Midwest and explore the South a little and be put in a melting pot of an area like Atlanta. I started working for my father. I'm not going to lie, it was a lot of hard work. He looked in the mobile aspect of telecommunications and had me work sales as an AT&T Alliance partner. I also worked at a Cold Stone Creamery with my oldest brother on the weekends as a shift leader. During my time in Atlanta, I really gained a passion for bodybuilding. My friends started seeing my results and started asking me help with their own diet and nutrition. I knew that one day I wanted to help others and to make money while I was doing it. After a year of living in Atlanta, I knew that my passion was not telecommunications, and I still wanted to be a kid. I moved back to Moline and went back to college. I decided that the University of Iowa was the right place for me. Growing up only an hour away from Iowa City, I knew that I wanted to proudly represent the black and gold and really become a Hawkeye. I was excited to step on campus in the fall of 2012. I decided that management and entrepreneurship track was the right fit for me. Maybe eventually I would start my own business or take over my father's. One of the first assignments I had in an entrepreneurial strategy class was to submit a resume and a 2-page paper discussing what we were passionate about. We also scheduled a time to meet with our professor to discuss what we could improve on. This did not go well for me. Long story short, my professor told me that I was way behind my peers and that he would not even look at my resume twice. He also asked why I didn't start my personal training business. I gave him every excuse to why I couldn't do it. I left that meeting pissed. I remember calling my mom and crying to her and telling her that I've been doing everything wrong for the last 4 years. I sat on the patio right outside Tiffany and I reflected on what just happened. I asked myself the same question I asked you all earlier. Why am I here? Other than the obvious reason of getting a degree so I can get a good job and make my parents happy, why am I here? As I sat alone on the patio, I realized there was 3 main reasons why I decided to come to the University of Iowa. First, I wanted to step outside my comfort zone. After my discussion with my professor, I knew I had to build my resume, and joining a student organization was a good start. I decided to join Phi Beta Lambda, which is a business organization on campus. I liked this organization because of how small and how close-knit it was. I also liked the fact that none of the members were like me. Over 70% of this organization is international students, and the closest I've ever been to places like China or Korea is eating the food at a local Hy-Vee. I've been able to learn so much about the Asian culture, and I've been able to build a lot of great relationships through this organization. The second reason I decided to come to Iowa was because I wanted to make an impact on others. 2 weeks after my meeting with my professor, it just so happened I was down at Pat's Diner eating one of my meals, and a student came up to me and asked me, "Why are you eating chicken and sweet potatoes?" We got to talking, and next thing I know, he was asking me how much I charge for my services. I saw an opportunity. My first client was a Chinese student named Bien. Bien really impressed me. He was so disciplined with his diet and trained harder than anyone I know. Working with Bien helped me shape my craft. I learned how to approach certain aspects of this lifestyle change, including diet and time management. I've looked into other mediums to impact others. I started a YouTube channel a little over a month ago and received an enormous amount of great feedback. Hearing people tell me that one of my videos or something I post on Facebook has led them to make improvements physically is extremely rewarding for me. The third reason I came to Iowa was because I wanted to become the strongest version of myself. I started looking into aspects of psychology like Maslow's hierarchy of needs to start to understand my strengths and weaknesses as a person, to learn what I could actually contribute to the world. I started reading books that really provoked my thought and about different aspects of my life, from Paulo Coelho's Alchemist to Joe Torre's Ground Rules for Winners. Each book had a different impact on the way I spent my time, and each book inspired me to think a little differently. I researched successful figures and tried to figure out what made them tick, studying their habits, their lives, to see how I could apply certain things to my own. Why are these individuals so successful, and why are they so happy? I wanted to have more confidence, increase my self-esteem, and be able to better communicate my ideas to others. I came to the University of Iowa with a mission, and I've successfully completed this mission. This experience has really changed my life. Now that I look towards the next chapter, the question is not, why am I here? The question is, where am I going?